So the two things that I mentioned to you when you sent these to me, I'll go over here real quick. First one is the kind of the foot positioning on the rubber and how that gets you into your load. And then the other piece with the load is basically the timing of when you drop into it. And so I think that I'll focus more on that one because I know we've had a few guys that have had similar issues with the load timing. So I just kind of want to explain what that means, why it's important, those kind of things. So I guess first off, do you have any specific things that you felt that were off or specific questions you had?
Not really. I just feel like I was throwing a lot with my upper half and just kind of throwing it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I kind of felt out of rhythm a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here, let me go back to that video you sent me. That's from a while ago or whatever. One of the things I pointed out, this angle of your back foot here. So part of that's because you're throwing on a mound with no rubber, I'm sure, but that's something that you can implement even with a rubber. You don't necessarily have to be like squared up with the rubber all the time. You can have it angled like this because that's likely going to allow you to get into a better sit. Because if you look here, like this sit is pretty solid and you get in this vertical shin, which I think is good for you. And you're able to hold that and rotate. And then if we look at what's squared up with the rubber, it's tough to see from this angle, but your sit is more like your knee is kind of caving inwards. And also from this angle, you can see like your knee is almost like over your toes versus the other one. It's more of like a true like squat sit. And so when you're in this position, it's really difficult to like engage your glute and your hamstring and rotate out of it there. So it ends up being very like quad dominant, almost like a push down the mound with your quad. So you do get like the depth, but you're almost like angled inwards towards the plate. And so that rotation, like you can even see here, like your hip internally rotates, so your like leg starts to rotate. But if you look at your actual pelvis, it doesn't turn towards. Oh. So like here, like you're starting to rotate, but you're still like pretty close until about there. And by then you're already kind of going with the upper half. So a quick, easy fix for that, I think, is just trying to play around with how much angle you have with that back foot, putting your toes on the rubber and the heel a little bit closer. I did that my senior year, and it was big for me. It depends on kind of your hip anatomy and what helps you sit better. But based off that old video being like that, I think that it would be a good move for you. The other piece to it, let me pull up this one. So the other piece is getting like fully having everything go up and then everything go down when you load, where here you kind of almost have it split up where it's like your front leg is going up, and then before you truly get to the top, you're going to start to sit. So you're almost like sitting in this position that's, I guess, like preloaded, but you're losing that momentum of the leg lift. So you're really only getting like this much leg lift momentum, where by the time you're getting here, you're like counteracting the momentum of the leg going up and the momentum of the rest of your center of mass going down are like fighting against each other. So then you basically have to like start from zero. Like you don't generate any momentum from that leg lift. Where ideally you want like everything to go up, you get to here and you're like still pretty tall. You don't necessarily have to be like straight with the back leg, but everything's kind of gone up. And then from here, everything goes down all at once. You carry all that momentum into rotation. Because as far as like the upper body and the positions you get in there and the rotation, I think is good. It's just a matter of like storing more energy in that back leg to then use. And that adds up with what you're telling me you were feeling, where it's like it almost felt like all arm. Because you're just probably not using all the energy that you could be creating. So you have to create it all with just like rotation and obviously arm speed and all that. Does that make sense, or is there any parts that are confusing about that?
Oh, that makes sense. So you think I should 'cause when I come set, I feel like my back leg doesn't really like move that much. Should I try to stand like a little more tall when I'm set?
You could try it, but even if you're coming set in this position,
Yeah.
the issue isn't necessarily the leg actually being bent, it's the momentum of like your center of mass. So let's say
Okay.
you're in this position. I want you to at least stay in this position while your leg lift is on the way up. And then once it's at the top, then you can start to drop. But if we see here, you're in this position and you're bending it more before that leg gets to the top.
Okay.
See
That
that?
makes sense. Yeah.
So you could try it. I know like I kind of had like a similar setup to this where I was like a little bit bent on the back leg, and I would kind of straighten it out as I would go up with the front leg. But I understand like that might feel super uncomfortable. It might not feel strong or stable. So it's not really a necessary thing to straighten it out. It's just you don't want it to be like collapsing down as you're building that momentum up. You want everything to work as one. Real quick, I just thought of an example would be what's his face? Roki Sasaki for the Dodgers. So when he does his full leg kick, he starts in the same position. And then on the way up, straightens everything out. So all his momentum is going up, and then you can't see from this angle, but he's like starting to slowly drift towards the plate. And then everything goes down at once, gets in the loaded position, rotates.
Okay. So when your leg starts to go down, you want to carry that momentum down the mound. So you go up and then load. Kind of down.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you want to think about it from like the standpoint of what is the purpose of the leg lift, right?
Yeah.
The leg lift, if you wanted to just step and throw, you're not going to get quite the same velo. I mean, there are some exceptions, but in general, like you're trying to build up some energy and then like throw it down the mound. And so you want to build as much energy as possible by having everything kind of go with the leg lift before it goes down the mound. Where if you have the leg lift going up and your body going down, then you're basically, there wasn't even a point of you doing the leg lift at all. Then you can do like what Sasaki was doing in that slide step, where it's really, he's starting in more of a tall position and then takes the leg lift out of it entirely. Like his leg still moves up, but really he's just going from the taller position and then just dropping into a load like right away. Does that all make sense?
Yeah. That makes a lot more sense.